Hey guys, ArchieLuxury on the Paul Pluta channel. Guys, I have got a very, very special guest today. This is Zach. And Zach recently went to the Omega. Where'd you go? You went to the Swatch Omega
Swatch
store,
in
Swatch
New
store
Zealand.
to get this new. What? Tell us, Zach, what were you looking for?
Big Speedmaster collector Archie. Love my Speedmasters. I was very excited when Swatch announced that they were going to do a joint collaboration. It was shock to the whole world that love watches, and
Yep.
me, like everybody, we thought, head down to Chadstone and grab ourselves a
Yep.
Moonswatch, and it
So,
was a complete disaster.
so tell me this. Which one would you have wanted? Because there's actually a number of pieces. If you had your choice, which one would you have taken?
I wanted the Moon mission to go with my Speedy Professional.
Oh, the mission. That's like the most. It resembles the traditional one as much as possible, doesn't it? Now I'm actually just going to bring that up on the screen. We'll get this up on the screen. The mission to the moon. So this here is a classic. This one here, classic Omega. Looking at it here, it almost looks like a Speedmaster Professional. Very, 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 very similar. Beautiful
Step
dial. Very, very lovely. On the back, that's how you change the battery, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, that's they put a the planet, which is actually a photo that NASA has taken, and they put a cover
Yep.
corresponding to each mission on the case back. Yep.
Okay, so it's a nice looking watch. Now, obviously, guys, what we're talking about is the new series of Swatch watches. We're talking about the new series of Swatch watches that Omega and Swatch, because they both share the same Swatch Group owners, and they've got a couple that have come out. They've got the Mission to Mercury, Mission to, it's all the planets there.
Yep.
I'd want to get the Mission to Pluto. So tell me this. Okay, so this was only announced not so long ago. This release was only announced. Did you make any inquiries? What made you go down there? Did you know it would be available, or you went onto the website? How did you find out it was going to be at the Chadstone store?
So the first thing I did was I called up my local Swatch. They said the only place authorised to sell it in Melbourne is Chadstone. I said, okay, I called Chadstone. It took me about an hour and a half to get a hold of them because they were kept disconnecting the call because so many people were calling. They told me that they've had calls the day before. Everybody was telling them that they were going to be probably setting up a tent the night before. And I made the decision to go the day of around 3 in the morning, which was a good decision. There was about 50 people in front of me, but it was complete chaos. People were hurt. People were arrested at the shop.
Hurt? Sorry, how do you mean arrested? This is at the nighttime or in the morning or when exactly?
So this was in the morning. This was 3 in the morning. We got there. We parked at the parking lot C. And what I did strategically, I had a look at what the closest entrance was using the Chadstone shopping map. And it turns out, by talking to people in front of the line that actually got a watch, they were paying the security guards $80 that were working night shift there to actually get early access into the shop. So yeah, so when the doors finally opened, there was an older guy in front of me. There was a bunch of people fighting. There was a couple of punch-ons in the morning, people trying to get closest to the main shopping center door. And then when the doors finally opened, everybody rushed through. Somebody actually dislocated their shoulder getting pushed through the door. They got taken away.
So how far? So you didn't get one, is that correct?
No, I didn't get one. When we finally got in, I turned right. We ran in. There was probably about 500 people already lined up, and that's because they let the furthest entry open first. And it was just, it was complete chaos, Archie. It was there was no possibility of getting one unless you were either paying the security guard to get in. And when they finally lined up, the line went from Swatch all the way to Gucci, and that was the full stretch of Chadstone.
Okay, so tell me this: how far from getting one were you? A long way off or a short way off or what?
I was about 100 to 200 people off getting one.
Okay. Did they take your name? Did you put down an expression of interest?
No, we were told when we lined up that we were told there was 150 pieces available, and then come to find out after it all happened, there was only 100 pieces. It was 150 pieces, including the display models in the shop at the time. And one of the Swatch employees kind of admitted to me that we were only expecting a maximum of 50 people. And that's what they allocated watches for, was around 50 people at 2 watches per person.
I see. Did you see anyone get any?
Yep. Many people walked out with one. The first 10 people that went in walked out without 2, but when they realised that they couldn't keep up with the numbers, they reduced it to 1 per person. There was one guy that tried to sell me one for $1,000 a pop, and obviously turned it down. Yeah.
Why obviously turned it down? That's probably a good price, isn't it?
Good price. I know one of the managers at Omega.
Why would you turn that down? Why would you turn that down? That sounds like a good deal.
No, well, they came out and they said that this is going to be online in a couple of weeks to everyone. This is not limited. They are not limited quantity. They're going to be online. Okay. And Swatch has also released a Twitter.
Okay. So tell me this then. Do you regret going there?
For me, as a collector, no, I don't regret going because it was very interesting to see.
What watches do you have, Zach? What do you have in your collection?
Well, I'm big Rolex fan, thanks to you. I've actually just turned 21 on Australia Day. So cool. Got my first Datejust 41 with a white Roman dial. I've got a
Datejust 41, yep.
Yeah, I've got a Speedmaster Professional. I love all the Omega Bond watches. I'm kind of a sucker.
Zach.
Yes.
Zach, I actually recently wrote to my Rolex AD. I'm turning 50 in October, 50, big 50 birthday, which any birthday after your 21st, any birthday with a 0 is significant.
Right.
And I did actually write to my AD saying, look, I would really like some sort of GMT Rolex.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't get a reply, and they didn't stop laughing.
You know, to be honest with you, from the first call to getting my Rolex Datejust was about 4 months, and when I called the
by the way, I'll just show you my I got a new watch there, Zachy. That's my new Rolex Sky Dweller. Do you like the Sky Dweller?
Beautiful. And somebody gave that to you at London Watch Show, correct?
Yeah, very good fan, Bondage and Discipline, gave it to me for services to the community. Gorgeous. And then another fan, another hater from WA, dobbed me into the fucking tax man on the customs, escorted me away on arrival, and a lot of horror, a lot of nastiness in this hobby, Zach.
There is.
It's not all winner chicken dinner. No. Zach, I want to ask you seriously, what's the most you would pay for one of these Omegas?
On the day, I would have been willing to pay $500 to have one on the day.
Okay. And now, today, what would you pay now?
Today, after the experience, I wouldn't pay more than the retail price. After they've told us.
Oh, why is that?
$380.
But why is that? Why wouldn't you pay more? They're in short supply. They lied. Let me ask you this, Zach. See, I think you're being a bit of a delusional fantasist. They lied to you when they released it.
Correct.
Now let me say this to you. If you were in a marriage, right?
Right.
And your girlfriend was cheating on you.
Yep.
And then you caught her cheating on you again.
Right.
And then you caught her cheating on you again, and she said, "Oh no, it's not what you think. It's different." When do you think you'd actually stop believing the fucking bullshit, Zach?
It only takes one time for me, Arch, to stop believing the bullshit.
Well, I think you've got to stop believing these ADs, man.
I never, to be honest with you, in my mind, I never trusted that
Yeah.
they were going to meet the supply for everyone in line. I
No.
knew that. I know.
But I got to tell you, I think that's pathetic if they only had 100 pieces.
It's pathetic.
I mean,
They
you said there was violence there. You saw violence. What sort of violence and aggression and anger did you see?
well, when so first of all, there was one security guard there. People were cutting in line, and people were getting really, really agitated. And then the police rocked up, and the police walked down the main line and said, "Look, everybody from this point on, disperse. You're blocking traffic. There's only a maximum of 150 watches. You guys are out of luck. It's false hope. No point in staying." And when that
Did many people leave?
No. For the first 2 hours, nobody left. Nobody believed that would have been the case. But after the word really got around that, yeah, there is only 150, and then to find out there's only really 100 of these that they were getting rid of, people started to get a little bit desperate. There was one guy that went under the line, pushed through the crowd to get to the main door. A fight started between him and the security guard at the main entrance of Swatch. The police rushed in, pulled him out. They were throwing down. One of the managers was leaving Swatch, and he was getting pulled around like a rag doll. I mean, it was vicious, nasty fuckers, Archie. Nasty fuckers.
I gotta tell you, man, why is this community so aggressive like that? I've seen some wonderful things in the community. I've seen a lot of love.
Yep.
And what really disappoints me, I gotta tell you this, is that I don't know how to explain this to you, Zachy. You're a bit young. But it's like the girlfriend you go out with. You know, you haven't done it yet, but it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
You keep taking her to fine dining, keep taking her out and doing things for her, but tomorrow never comes.
Right. It's just, it's one day after
You just
the
feel
other.
dirty.
Yeah.
Tell me this, Zach. You've got a Speedmaster and what else you got? You got a Submariner?
No Submariner. Datejust was my first Rolex, the only Rolex.
Datejust. You got a Datejust, Zachy.
Yeah.
A Datejust. Oh, that's right. Datejust 41. What model? Tell us more. You got it. If you get it on the screen, bring it up, Arch. Bring it up.
In the bloody safe.
That's okay. What is it? Give us the configuration. Just tell me.
White dial, fluted bezel, Jubilee bracelet.
Steel?
Yeah, steel, stainless steel with the
white gold bezel.
Yes.
Oh, that's fucking beautiful. Where'd you get that from?
The Hourglass.
Okay. And the second, you got the Omega. Oh, yeah. Bring it up. Bring it up. Bring it up, Arch. Bring it up.
I'm trying to get it in focus here.
Focus, baby.
Focus.
That's a beautiful watch.
Yeah, it is, but the fucking camera's shit.
Okay, that's okay, man. It's okay. So then you got a Speedy. That's a nice two-piece collection for a 21-year-old. What would you have done if you got the Swatch? What would you have done if you got the Mission to the Moon?
Yep.
What would you have got? What would you have done? What would you have done with it? Worn it, kept it, sold it? What would you do?
100% would have kept it. Just the and what the day kind of represented. But I'm a big NASA fan. So NASA really speaks to me, and I've always loved anything to do with NASA. I've got a lot of collectibles related to NASA, signed stuff from astronauts and stuff like that. So I would have kept it. It would have been my daily. I have the older reference Speedmaster with the big display box that obviously they don't make anymore. So that's kind of cool. I got that.
I got that one too.
Yeah.
With the 186. That's called the Legends. The Legends.
Yep.
Tell me this. Tell me this.
Here we go.
Do you think the hobby is getting just nasty? Do you think it's beautiful? Beautiful. Oh, you got Romans.
Yeah.
Far out. It's beautiful. How much you bought that new or you got this brand new from Hourglass? Hourglass. Yeah. Pay the piper, Arch. Pay the piper.
Experience Hourglass. Yep.
Now, why do you think there's so much hype for this Omega? Because let's face it, this is a disposable watch still. It's not something that you can service because it's kind of I don't believe you can service it just the way it's designed. It's kind of it's meant to be it's monoblock, yeah. It's what do you think? Why is there such hype for it?
I think the reason there is so much hype is, first of all, it's a cheaper. Obviously, you're not getting Omega quality, but at the end of the day, you're getting a watch that obviously Swatch owns Omega. Omega's on the dial, Arch. It's fucking. It's almost like driving a Ford with a Mercedes-Benz logo on it. I mean, you get that Omega taste for $380. You can't get with any other brand. I mean, you can't get a high-end Patek, like it's not like a bloody Seiko has a Patek logo on it. You know what I mean? It's that kind of
Sure.
And for me, knowing that I could have all 11 watches, for, half the price of a professional for the collection, they got Omega logos on the crown and that, it was amazing. And I think that's what took the world by storm. Fair enough having the Swatch logo on it, but having Omega, prominently on the dial was just I think took over everything. And
do you feel used by the brand? Do you feel it's made you cynical or disappointed, or what's it done to you as
I will tell you this. I feel like when I rocked up, we were basically marketing puppets. I mean, the fact that we rocked up, there's thousands in there, Arch, and the fact that we all lined up for a watch that we never received, we were kind of played. We rocked up just to prove, and the fact is, as I walked around, there was
Tell me
2
this.
hours.
Was there did you spot any good watches in the queue? What was there?
Predominantly Rolex. A lot of guys were there wearing Rolex. I wore the professional because to me.
What happened when they said, "Okay, that's all the watches for today. Goodbye"? What happened to the crowd then?
Everybody kind of turned against the security because the security. No one from Swatch had talking to us at this point. Everybody came out and said, security and the police, mostly the police, said, "Look, there's 150 of these," and they tried to rush everybody off. It was no. Move along, go home. You can't be standing here and beating traffic. So it was everybody at that point realized they weren't going to get one that day. People were walking out of the shop, walking down the line, trying to sell these things after just paying $380 for it. Most of the people there were there to flip, and that was their main, I think, concern.
Sure. Tell me this. Would you still have a desire to get one of them, or has it killed the desire?
No, I think 100% I'm going to grab all 11. That's no question.
Would you pay premiums for it?
No, not after they said on the day, these are going to be available in 2 weeks online. They're not limited edition. We're going to be making them. It's the same thing that happened with the Timex Pepsi. I remember when the Timex Pepsi came out, everybody was just lusting over one. And then 2 weeks after that, the guys that were trying to flip them were selling them less than retail because they realized, Jesus, they're actually pumping these out pretty quick. They're for sale on their website, and the flippers have to sell them cheaper than what they paid for them.
Yeah. What do you think of this watch market itself there? Are they investments? Like as a young 21-year-old, do you see watches as a store of value?
Yes, only certain brands. And obviously, before I could even afford a watch, I was watching you. And one thing that I learned very quickly is later on, if you can buy Rolex new, buy Rolex new. If you can buy Omega secondhand, buy Omega secondhand. And I've been listening to your advice for a long time. I'm not going to lie to you. It's bit me in the ass a few times. Just because there's different models. You buy a watch, Arch, 2 weeks later, you're looking at a watch that you just have to have. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You got a great collection there for a young guy. It's getting so hard. The average middle-class guy, I'd almost say Rolex is unattainable. It's unattainium.
Yeah, it is. And like you were saying, you couldn't even get like a brochure. You know what I mean?
Come back next week. Come back next week, sir.
I got to be
honest with you. It really is a disappointing thing. Like I've got on my wrist at the moment, as I said to you, I've got the Sky Dweller,
Yeah.
That's a $21,400 watch in Australia, which is a fuckload of money.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean you can buy them for that price. The secondary market is sort of just under $40,000.
Yeah. And
40,000. I mean, is that a lot of money? $40,000?
to me, it's a lot of money knowing that I could get it at retail price. But again, you got to play the AD's game. I've been in many.
Yeah, the games. Go on. Yep.
I've been in many ADs, and look, I'm 21. I fucking know nothing, but I've been at ADs. I've sat down, had a look at the display models and that, and I've witnessed people come in with their wives for their wedding anniversary and sit down and go, "I love this watch. This is a group decision we've made. I want to buy this watch." And then they turn around and say, "Well, you can't buy this watch. You're not going to get this watch." And then they fill their mind with, "Okay, we're going to put you down on the list." Now, this list, I don't know where they get this list from, because my brother's been on a list for 4 years, and he's older than me. He's in his mid-30s now, and he's been on a list for a sub for a long time. Never got the call. So it's hit and miss.
No, but you got to buy garbage. Has he bought much garbage from them?
No, not at all. But I haven't bought anything from the AD when I got this beautiful.
You got to remember, Hermes invented this scarcity marketing.
Right.
You know Hermes?
Not very familiar. No.
You know the Birkin. That's a Hermes. H-E-R. It's a French luxury company.
Right.
And I wanted to get my wife a Kelly. That's one of the bags, named after Grace Kelly, because she hid her baby bump when she was pregnant with this Birkin. So with this Kelly bag. And Sex and the City had the Birkin. That's kind of the it bag. It's the holy grail of handbags.
Gotcha.
And I wrote him a letter and said, "Look, my wife's turning 52 soon. She's a nurse. She works with babies and handled COVID cases, and we'd really like to get a Kelly. What can we do?"
Yeah.
And they're all very positive. Come in, we'll discuss it. So basically, when you get in there, they say, "Look, we'd love to help you get your dream bag." This is the terminology: dream bags, dream watch. Obviously, we want to help everyone get their dream bag. And I said, "Well, what do you need to do? What do we need to spend?" And they said, "Look, sir, everybody's journey is different." Okay, we're on a journey here. I thought we were buying a product. Now we're on a journey, like a journey, like you go to Mount Everest, and that's a journey, isn't it? I mean, so we're going for a journey. And I said, "Well, what do you need to buy?" I said, "Well, sir, everybody's journey is different." Okay. So that's like going to a car dealer. They won't tell you the price of the car. They won't tell you the payments. They won't tell you the interest rate, but if you're good to them, they'll sell you one.
Yeah.
And the watch industry's moved the same way. Rolex, now it's unattainable. You can't get these things. Does that make you love them more? Do you think secretly in the back of your mind, the fact that you can't get them makes you crave it more?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, when somebody says, as a kid, you can't have that lollipop. Parents look away from licking the lollipop. I mean, look, and that's the problem I think a lot of people have is when you've got the money in your pocket, pay for something, and they say your money's not good enough for this, and then they turn you away. That's why you're willing to pay the extra 10.
So, how many people were there? You reckon all up?
Easily 3,000 to 4,000 people rocked up.
What?
I mean,
what? 3,000 to 4,000? You're joking, aren't you?
No, I'm not joking. I know a couple of managers there from Swatch Group. The line went around Chadstone.
Did they expect that, or what did they think of that?
Well, when I spoke to one of the managers there, they said that they expected a maximum of 50 people to come there that morning. And that was a lie. I mean, through social media, it was everywhere. To expect 50 people was a joke, especially being the only place that was selling it in Melbourne. I was speaking to people that actually told me they knew it was going to be a rush in Sydney, so people flew from Sydney to Melbourne.
Oh, you're joking?
to get a higher chance, and it just didn't work out at all. There should have been a ticketing system. They should have
Yeah.
told everybody there's only 100 pieces available. You know,
Yeah.
there was a guy. He was in his 80s, and his wife was there in her 80s as well, and they were there before I was there. And that poor old man, he couldn't even run to the line, and he didn't get a watch. And I remember when they said there's 100 pieces, he was trying to plead with them. I was here before everyone. Can you at least let me in? My wife's been here since bloody 2 a.m. Can we get a watch? No, no, no. You're not getting a watch. Meanwhile, the flippers are walking out of the shop trying to sell them for $1,000 a pop. It was I felt played. It was.
What are they going for now? What's the price now on the street?
Price now on the street, I've seen them going for $2,000 on eBay. There's some on our local, like Facebook marketplace. They're selling for $2,000. People, there's a lot of places on eBay can see them going for $75,000. I think that's fake bidding. It could be, could not. Who knows?
Yeah. Do you want one? Would you pay more than a standard Omega for one?
No. Well, like a professional? No.
Yeah.
No. If the funny thing is, people that were there and they realized what was going on, many people said, I'm going to Omega to just buy the professional. And it's funny because after it was all said and done, we walked to Omega. There was a 2-hour line to get in Omega. And here's the other thing. After everybody kind of went away and they put a big A4 piece of paper on the door saying, all Moonswatches sold out, come back next Saturday. People wanted to go in to at least maybe try them on, and lined up, got to the front, and they said, no one's allowed to try these on. No one's allowed to touch them. And that was also like, I waited since 3 a.m. to have a look on the old one, and you won't even let me try one on. It was definitely.
I suppose they were scared of violence.
I think it was more to do with everybody that came out said they feel cheap. Everybody said that. Said that it wasn't what I was expecting. They looked the part, but at the end of the day, they were like a very light plastic. So I think it's more.
Well, what do you expect?
Exactly, for $380. Exactly. But that was marketing in its perfection. You can't touch it, you can't hold it. When you buy one, you'll get to experience it.
Zach, do you honestly believe the moon landing happened? Maybe that's a con. If Omega or Swatch Group's lying to you, do you think the moon landing maybe didn't happen?
Look, I've been to NASA twice in my life. I've been to America a few times. We actually had a house in the States. And visiting it, look, people that say the moon landing was fake, I think they don't know all the facts about, what was possible back then and what wasn't possible. 100% the moon landing's not fake. It would have been harder to fake it than it would have been to actually go. I mean, special effects back then was completely horrible. Faking 0G would have been impossible. I mean, it would have just been a complete nightmare. And I mean, the death of 3 astronauts on Apollo 1, I mean, why did they have to die? It was all just a fake get up.
Yeah. Zach, it's great interviewing you. Keep up the enthusiasm. Has this hurt your enthusiasm for the brands?
A little disappointed in Swatch Group. I expected more from them.
Yeah, I got to say, that's pretty low numbers for whole of Melbourne.
When they said that they had 6 million units ready to go, and if you divide them up by all the states, all the countries, I mean, we didn't get 1% of 6 million units. So it's just, I don't know. It's the Rolex thing.
Are you going next weekend?
No, I'm not going to go next week after what I saw this Saturday. It was just a complete disaster and people got hurt, and I think they need to organise it better.
Zach, thank you for your time. I'm going to cut it out. So there we go. Another disappointed punter. Very sad to hear that, Zach. And Zach, I wish you luck in your quest to get the full set, set, and keep watching the streams. There we go. Zach Lord Very disappointed young man. He went out of his way to get the piece and completely let down. That's sad to hear.
Like you say, when you come home to one of these, you feel good again.
Yeah,
So it's all good.
No worries, Zach. Thank you so much there. Maybe get a Tudor. Get a Tudor next. What do you reckon?
I had a Tudor GMT Black Bay.
Yeah, Tudor.
Yeah, I had a Black Bay GMT, and then
they're a great watch, great made watch. Yeah, maybe that's Zach. Thank you so much, and we will catch up again, Zach. Thank you.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah, there we go.